Hello everybody and welcome to your indie snapshot for today of Pixel Piracy. Some of you might already know a little bit about Pixel Piracy, especially if you were following or have been following my stream lately, as I did play it a few days ago on stream for about an hour or two to kind of get a feel for how the game played, and I also played a little bit of it off screen as well, just to really sink my teeth into the game and try and figure out just what this early access game brings to the table. So, what is Pixel Piracy? Well, Pixel Piracy is currently a game on Steam's Early Access. It's in an early alpha build by two gentlemen, both by the name of Vitaly Kirpu, I'm sorry if I'm butchering these names, and Alexander Poisky. It is literally a two-man team creating this game, and they are attempting to create a pixelated, obviously, piracy simulation / roguelike game. Randomized elements, some combat that kind of happens off-screen, or not off-screen, but you have no control over. You sail the world on your ship that you make, looking for riches and treasure, and trying to make it in the world as a pirate, all while managing their mood, their morale, their food, and their money. It's more of a simulation game than I actually expected it to be, and it is a game that definitely needs some work, and the developers themselves have said they were kind of weary about putting it on Steam Early Access right away. They didn't actually want to do it, but because they apparently got a lot of emails and petitions, they ended up putting it on Steam one way or another. I still feel like, you know, even if you're getting a lot of petitions to put on Early Access, you might not want to do it right away. Pixel Piracy is definitely not the worst Early Access game I've played, but it's definitely one that needs a little bit of, or I should say a lot bit more time in the oven. It's very convoluted, kind of all over the place, and very difficult to figure out in your first playthrough. So I'm going to try and talk about the game a little bit as I play it, like I always do, and we'll dive right in. So we're going to hit a new game. We're going to have a free data slot, and here you can choose your crew's name. So if you want to name your crew, we'll call them the Mathis crew. Doesn't really matter. We can name our world Macedonia, sure. And then you have three, what I assume are difficulty choices: Princess mode, hardcore mode, and arena mode. I have no idea what hardcore mode or arena mode is, because Princess mode kicks my ass constantly, and that's the mode I'm going to be playing on. So we're going to go ahead and hit start game, and then the game is going to ask you a series of questions, and it kind of gives you an idea of what they mean. So right away it's going to say, what do you think about Macedonia, about the world? And you have three choices. It's sickening, filled with pirates, monsters, and hardships. It's fascinating, an intriguing assortment of inhabitants roam the land, and it's unpleasant, a province filled with dire corners and unrelenting troubles. Now, initially, I thought this might be the, well, if I didn't know what the other one was, that was difficulty setting, I would initially think that this would be the difficulty setting. But I think it just means, again, it doesn't explain it very well, how much monsters are going to be filling the world. I figure if I pick the first one, the world's going to be filled with monsters. But I have no idea what the mystery one does and the drama one does. I have no friggin' idea. I've only played the mystery thing, and it's just been fighting as it is anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and pick this one and see what this does. I've never really seen any difference. Then asks you, what is the most recent event that happened to the land? So you can basically choose between having more ship encounters, having the plague, or long and dangerous nights. The first and last one are pretty self-explanatory. This plague thing, I have no friggin' idea what that does. So let's do with, I guess, long dangerous nights. I've never done that one before. How do I remember my father? So this is just like kind of starting bonus. This is the easiest one to figure out. So I can get a special weapon that's going to do a bit more damage. I can have an extra starting pirate, or I can get 50% more starting items. The best one, I think, is a starting pirate, just because having that extra man on your ship is going to be useful during encounters. So we'll go ahead and pick that. After you go ahead and pick that, you get to pick how you look. Not really. You get to actually just randomize your look in your name constantly.
Oh, yeah?
And one of the things you're gonna realize is that the voices in this game can be a bit on the obnoxious side. So we're gonna go ahead and be Mikel Ferreira. He's got a bandana and a sweet mustache, and hit confirm. It's then gonna go ahead and build the world, as most games like this do. It is a completely randomly generated world with all kinds of different things. And from what I can tell, it's giant. The world is really, really big. Like already, we're only about a little over halfway, and we already have over almost 300 islands and a bunch of towns to run into. We're gonna let this build, and I'll be right back. Alright, so our world is built, and what it initially does right away is drop you off on the first island. We're gonna go ahead and pause it by hitting spacebar, and we're going to take a look at a couple things. So right off the bat, you have a bunch of things to click on. Parrots, which I've never been able to click because I've never had a parrot before. Your crew, which is your crew. So we're going to get Hork, which is our crew member. and Mikkel, which is me. I'm the captain. So, which is weird right away, I'm not going to lie, because suddenly it said I started with an extra crew member, but you always get this one person. You always get your first member of the crew, so I'm not sure. And then as you level up, you can hire more crew members. So I'm a level 2 captain. So until I can't have another crew member until I hit level 4, then 6, 8, 10, and evens throughout until you have this huge crew if you ever get that far. So that's kind of cool. Next, we have the world map, which we could choose where to sail to, which, take a look at the world map here. What the hell's going on here? Alright, this is weird. I don't know what this is all about, but we can't really do anything. We're here, and we can go down here. This is kind of a weird situation. I've never seen this world look like this before. And one of the things... We'll go ahead and kill that crab because I accidentally unpaused. So, other than that, we also have the ship setup. So, as you might notice, we might not have a ship out here. We don't have one out here at all. So, how do you get a ship? Well, you go ahead and hit ship setup, and then you build a ship. This is one of the cooler features of the game. I really like this. It allows you to build your own pirate ship. And it doesn't start you with much. You're going to get a very small boat to start. But as you get more money, you can buy more parts and build a bigger ship that can hold different parts. Eventually, they're going to have cannons, so you can have ship-to-ship battles as opposed to just man-to-man, which is what you have now. And can have different things like a kitchen and all this other stuff that you eventually will be able to build. But right now, we're just going to build a basic ship. We have 8 wooden blocks and 3 half-wood blocks. So we're going to go ahead and build a ship. Real quick, I'm going to build the basic ship that I've always built. Like this. Then we right-click these away. And we can go ahead and put these here and here. And then what we'll do is build this and this. And then we're going to go into the decoration, which is like the backwards paneling, the back side of the ship. It just basically, it's not really for anything other than looks. But we're going to have it there. And then we have some basic food that we can go ahead and drop into our ship. So, we have some miscellaneous stuff, which we actually have none of. But this is our basic ship. So, this is what it looks like. It's pretty ugly. So, we'll go on to that in a little bit. First, we're going to go ahead and move into the town that we have here. As you can see, we have some crabs we can kill. Sometimes they drop crab meat, so we're going to go ahead and attack them in hopes that they do drop crab meat. And we can use later on. Oop, we didn't kill this crab right off the bat. And we killed him off. So, we're going to have the ship right here. We're going to walk into here, and this is going to be ship parts. We can go past here. This is a tavern where you can go in here, and it used to be able to hire crew members from here, but not anymore. You can go in here, and your captain might grab a bottle of whiskey, and his morale might go up. We have a weapons vendor over here, but most importantly, at the very end, we have ourselves a food vendor, which you definitely want to spend most of your money on. As you can see, you have 600 gold to start, and you want to spend most of your beginning money, if not all of it, on food. Mostly watermelons and fruits. Watermelons and rum are essentially the same thing right now, and I don't see a reason to buy rum. So we're just going to go ahead and buy up a bunch of this. And we're going to go ahead and hit exit. After that, we have a ton of food stock. And over here, it looks like we're going to have ourselves some oysters. So we're going to go ahead and crack these oysters open in hopes that we're going to come across, this guy, Trenton Pemberton. We're going to crack open these oysters in hopes of finding ourselves maybe a pearl. They do have a chance of having a pearl. And we can use that for money. So, as you might notice, you might be hearing me clicking in the background. It's really weird because WASD actually moves the camera. To move your character, you actually click. You click a lot, like an old school kind of like Diablo-esque thing. Oh, okay, dude, move. Could you move, please? I thought I was going to attack you. But you don't. You actually use WASD to move the camera around, which is weird. It's a little bit finicky in how things work, and I'll show you that in a little bit. Sometimes you'll click and your character doesn't actually go where you're telling him to go. Sometimes you click and he ends up attacking something you didn't mean for him to attack. It's really kind of bizarre how that works out. But yeah, I'm not sure if I like the whole clicking mechanics. Visually, the game is very bright and vibrant. I don't know if this whole 16-bit style fits. I feel like it doesn't. You know, sometimes games kind of do this whole 8-bit style as a design choice because maybe they're just not as artistically talented. Though the game is bright and vibrant and looks pretty good, I don't necessarily like the idea of these fucking sprites, these pirate sprites just kind of dicking around, and they look like 8-bit and old school, while the rest of the game actually looks a bit 16-bit-ish. This is something Dean pointed out when we were playing, and I didn't agree with him initially, but I actually kind of agree with him now. Anyway, so to get on your ship, you just click on your ship with your captain. He throws a grapple really awkwardly and shimmies across it weirdly. To get your crew on here, you actually have to give them the command to do so. And to do that, you would think that would be like maybe right-click or something, or whatever, but it's not. What you do is you grab this, drag this move icon, you drag it, and you tell them where you want to move. And it doesn't always work. Sometimes it'll be red, sometimes it'll be green. It's not exactly the clearest thing, but it looked like it worked that time. And he's going to come over here and jump on the boat. While he does that, I'm actually going to go ahead and pop into my food and drop some fruit. There we go. And he's going to come over here and do that. And that's actually a lot of how you control the NPCs that are not your captain. You have to do a lot of dragging and dropping, like dragging and dropping an attack, dragging a drop and dropping interact. Plunder just does it by itself, a capture ship. But the whole dragging and dropping thing is really awkward. I don't like it at all. I would much prefer maybe hitting like a hotkey like I or C or something. Give me a hotkey to press, or allow me to do some other way of doing it. Maybe like click this and then click somewhere else, because dragging and dropping just feels clunky, and I don't like it. So we're going to go ahead now and start exploring the world. This is where a lot of the gameplay comes in. So we're going to go to the world map, and you kind of have places to go. And we're going to go over to the Twilight Vanguardians, and we're going to go ahead and click that destination. And sometimes it'll be an island that you can explore. What is this? Did the game break? We're under attack. So we're getting attacked. I have no idea what that percentage thing is. We might be having a broken game going on right now, which might be why the world map looks awful. But we're under attack. We're going to go ahead and click attack enemy, which is important because we want to show that off. Let's kill them. And this is it. This is a level 1 encounter. So we have 2 level 1 pirates. So the first thing we want to do is command our crew to go over, and we're going to command ourselves to go over. And they're just going to go across the ship there and fight them in their ship. And slice them, dice them. They fight by themselves. You have no input how that happens. You can hit pause to take a look at the health. And if things start going poorly, you can start pulling your men away. But you have no input. This is it. This is how it works. It's the basics of a simulation game. Again, they market this game as a pirate simulator, which is fine. It makes sense. My captain ended up dying. So that's the thing. Enemy is offering to spare the crew from death for whatever. My captain's dead, so it doesn't really mean anything. We're just going to fight to the death here. They're going to kill us. No big deal. My captain's dead. It doesn't even matter. Game over. So it's obviously the very bare basics of the game is simulation. So I can see, early on it's going to be a little bit boring, I guess. It's going to be more of a long-term thing. I can imagine when you have a huge crew and you're managing maybe gunfights and you have cannons and you have people on also boarding the ship, it can get really cool and kind of crazy. But for right now, it's super basic. It's not a lot going on here. There's not a lot to play with. And that was the only encounter on the map. Mind you, the world map only showed that one encounter. This was the only fight we had, and I got my ass kicked. What was I supposed to do there? There was nothing I could do. So now we have to hit escape and start a brand new game. So that's what we're going to go do. We could load up the game we had before, but it seemed like it was broken. I'm going to actually just start a brand new game over that save file. Let's go ahead and start game. I'm going to pick the options that I know I pick and typically work to have a world full of something to do. We'll click Plague, I guess, because that's what we always do. And I'll give myself the Falcon Blade. And sure, that sounds good. We have a green-haired pirate, begin game. And we'll try to play a little bit more of the game to show off just exactly how the mechanics work. So yeah, there's not a lot to do as far as combat is concerned, and the game is stupidly hard. It is so hard. For a while, I started dying of starvation before and stuff, but once you realize you need to go back and buy food on your ship, and every so often you can kind of manage that. But because NPC encounters are really hard to judge, and for instance, one really good example is an island full of dogs. There's an island full of dogs that you might come across every so often that you think you can fight because they're like level 1 dogs and your crew's like level 6, 4, and 5 or something. But that's not actually the case. The way it works is your crew will just die. And it's kind of a trial and error process, which sucks. It's really rough. I'm looking for a sailor. There we go. We'll hire a sailor because we have no crew with this particular captain for some reason. We'll go ahead and do that. What a sailor is good for is he throws poop off the deck. Your characters just poop on the ship for some reason and don't clean it unless the sailor does it for you. So we have to have a sailor on there to clean up the poop, and I think it lowers morale. We'll go ahead and do that. We'll go ahead and exit, and we'll get out of here. So we're going to go ahead and send all of our crew over here, and then we'll start building a ship. We'll get a ship up really quickly. There we go. I just like to do the same ship every time because I've really never had a chance to expand it, so. And we'll get some food. We'll put 1 watermelon on there because it's a bit more expensive. It does a bit more. Alright, we'll get everybody on the ship. I lost track of what I was talking about. I lost track of what I was talking about. But the game is freaking hard. You get your ass kicked constantly. And I'm not a fan of that because I understand a hard game that, you know, maybe it's your own fault. But when the game doesn't explain properly to you why you're losing or why you're dying or what's going on, it's not really something you can control. On top of that, battles are a fucking clusterfuck. It looks like a mess. It's so much going on screen, none of which you can control, and there's numbers going up everywhere, and you constantly have to hit space and interrupt the combat to see just who's hurt and who's not, and then try and move them off and hope that they listen to the command you're giving them when you give that command to them. It's a pain. It's a pain in the dick. Alright, so we actually have a bit better situation here. So we want to go blaze the world, a level 1 dangerous kind of thing, and we'll go there and see what we get. So up in the top right corner, it'll tell you the percentage of how close you are. You can kind of move your captain around on the ship, but as of right now, sailing's boring as hell. There's nothing going on. Maybe when, you know, more management stuff comes into the game, it'll be well worth it and worth checking out, and I look forward to the game when it has more stuff in it. But we have arrived, let's attack. But as of right now, sailing is completely boring, and there's nothing that happens. So we have a couple of pirates here. Let's see what we end up doing. Or how well we end up doing. They have a treasure chest on their ship too, which is good. We definitely want to fight them, and hopefully we'll kill them. It looks like we're doing a bit more damage to them than they are doing to us, so this looks like a potentially really good fight for us. Though it is going to be close. We'll see. So again, we just have to wait. It looks like we're doing alright. It looks like we might end up killing one of them. There we go. We got them. So we're going to go ahead and send our crewman back, and our captain, we're going to go ahead and hover over the chest and hit interact with the chest so he opens it up. We're going to get a bunch of gold, which is nice. And then we can just go ahead and move on back. And once our captain goes back to the ship, we will plunder the ship and sink it and take it for all of its worth. We can actually capture the ship as well and take it, but we'll lose all this food over here if we end up doing this. So we'll just plunder the ship, it'll blow up, and we'll take it out of here. So now if we hit space, we're about half dead. If we were to fight another fight like that, it would probably end up killing us, and we don't want to do that. So another thing I want to show you is the crew themselves. So upon, you know, playing, you'll have your crew, and they have stats. We have our XP, our level, I don't know what TP is. Our HP, our hunger level, which they'll eat automatically if there's food on the ship. If not, you can feed them food if you have any in your inventory. And the morale. So over time, the morale goes down. Other things can infect the morale as far as I understand. Poop on the ship and all other kinds of things. In order to help the morale, you have to pay them their salary. So for my captain, he's a 100 salary kind of guy. And then this guy right here is a 74 salary kind of guy. They also have all their stats in here, so this guy's got a really good strength, and he's really good in his dexterity. My captain is really good with vitality, agility, and luck. So we have a pretty well-rounded crew here. Strength, I believe, is health. Oh, we can actually level them up with TP. That's what this TP is, okay. So we'll go ahead and level up our members here. We want to keep him really good at what he does. There we go. Level them up, perfect. And now they're looking a little bit better. So there's some level up features as well, and they have their own personality traits as well, which will, of course, I believe, affect morale. Some people will be kind of pessimistic, kind of a pain in the ass. Some people will be a dick. They all have different things. It's kind of fun to listen and read to their personality types as well. So we're gonna go ahead now and go back to the world map and head back to the city we're at right here, and we're gonna go back and heal up. Let our guys take some time to heal up. And maybe buy some more food for our ship, or replace some of the food on our ship as well. We got 3 parts from plundering that ship too, which is kind of cool. So Dale Furlong is asking for 42 gold. We don't have too much gold. I'm going to say no. I'm not going to give him any gold. Not a chance, which is fine. We'll take a look if that actually ended up hurting his morale. It did, but we'll go ahead and pay him his normal salary and bring him right on up anyway. We might as well pay our... Well, we don't need to pay our captain quite yet. He's doing just fine. They're going to go ahead and eat. So it may sound like I'm being pretty hard on the game, and while I am being pretty hard on the game and it's early access and alpha, a lot of this, gotta keep in mind, a lot of this can be fixed over time. The reason I'm doing this now is to ask, you know, the question, is it worth it now? Is buying into early access worth it now? There's a lot of potential for this game. There is a lot of potential for this game, which is really exciting, because I really want a good pirate game. And even though I may not agree with what's going on as far as the 8-bit graphical style and what they're presenting aesthetically to the game, and though the controls may have a lot of issues, there is... It looks like my pirate captain is going to go ahead and participate in some drinking, which is fine. And while there, you know, a lot of the controls may have some issues, particularly with the drag and drop commands, and there's a lot of basic stuff that needs some improving, this could turn into, and I said this on the stream before, this could turn into a really good pirate simulator. I wish they would hire an artist, to be honest, and replace some of the graphical style of the game. I think it would be really good as a really solid looking, maybe 2D cartoony looking game, or even 16-bit would be a bit better as far as the sprites are concerned, and maybe some good animations. I understand basic animations and basic sprites make programming a lot easier. You don't have to spend your time on it, especially with 2 men, but if they have the opportunity to maybe pick up an artist, I'd say pick it up. I would say definitely pick it up. And, you know, what we've seen is basically the entirety of the game so far. We'll go out and maybe check out a little bit more of the game. There are islands you can come across. Maybe we'll go exploring for some islands and see what exactly they have. But the islands are typically fight the monsters on the island, get the treasure chest, try not to die in the process. And that's just how it works. Alright, you might have seen a cut there. Apologize for that. Phone rang, had to answer it. Anyway, so yeah, that's... We'll go out and explore a little bit, but again, a lot of the game is pretty rinse and repeat at this stage. So this is another town over there. We could go over there. Let's go to this island. I'll show you an island tile, I guess you would call it. There's just 2 different types of tiles, it looks like. There's the encounters tile, which is where you fight ships like that, and the islands tile. Oh, I forgot to put more food on my ship, which is actually not a good thing. Dale Furlong is very depressed and wants to speak with you. They all lose morale. So I could lose morale, or he could lose morale. It's much cheaper to not ignore him and pay him his money, and his morale will go back up instead of listening to him. So his morale plummets, we pay him a much cheaper salary, he's happier about it. See, nice and easy. So we'll go ahead and move this guy up. Again, sailing is incredibly boring. The water looks cool, by the way. I know this is random, but I like the water. You can see kind of fish and stuff swimming underneath. But the water, like, graphical style is kind of neat. I like it a lot. Whatever, just take 19 gold. 19 gold is not a big deal. You were getting bored? Thanks. I should have just said no. 19 gold. No biggie. Alright, so, once again, looks like we're going to have ourselves the island. So if we look at the island, this is what I'm talking about. So we got 3 dogs, and hopefully it won't be that big a deal to take care of. So we're going to go ahead and send him there. And then I had to click a bunch there to get him to even work. But we're going to go ahead and fight some dogs. They are low. They're low health. They should only go down a couple hits, but what the problem is they attack so goddamn fast that it's ridiculously hard to do anything with. So we'll go ahead and interact with this. We got a bunch of money and some knives and some other stuff. So we're going to have him attack the oyster over there. There's a banana tree, which we'll go over and grab the banana tree. And we'll interact with that banana tree. We'll grab some bananas. Yay, we took some bananas. You got 4 bananas. I don't think I can interact with the banana tree anymore. Nope. So we'll go attack the other oyster. We'll actually put him over here. Oh, looks like I found a pearl over there. We'll send him back. One more hit. So we got a couple pearls. That's good. We could probably sell those for a lot of money. We'll go ahead and send them back. Other things we could do real quick is we have things to equip them with. So he's got a cutlass. We could send him to... What? Okay, there we go. So we have a chef's knife. We could give them stuff to equip. So if we got a better weapon and stuff, we can equip them with that. A passive equip will do stuff like give them extra morale. We can make them drink stuff, give them a ranged weapon. There is a basic RPG kind of equipment system here, which does function. But that's it right now. The game is very, very basic. That's pretty much, you've seen everything. Basic encounters you have no control over. It's pretty hard to actually do anything in the game because of how difficult the game is. But if you can survive, I can see a little bit of fun being had. But the question that, that raises, is it worth the $15 that it is on Steam right now? And I would say, not yet. What I would say is that there is definitely potential in this game. A really good pirate sim is baking here if they do a lot of things right, if they fix a lot of the interface problems and a lot of the kind of combative problems that we have here. As of right now, all orders are group or crew-wide. So if I say move here, as far as I know, and the way it's worked for me, is the entirety of the crew moves there. So if we get a bigger ship, and I only want to move a couple crew, and not all the crew to an island or something, that doesn't seem possible right now. He wants to become a fighter. I'm going to say no, because they will want to change jobs every so often. But It's just a lot of things need to be fleshed out and worked on. Again, it's early alpha, and they even said in their little post that they necessarily didn't want to put it on Steam right away, but they did. Bottom line is they ended up putting it on Steam, and I think it's a little bit too early of a game to have for mass consumption. I don't think there's a lot here to have fun. It's not deep enough, but I think it will be deep enough given the time. There's a lot that could be fun about this game that isn't quite fun yet. But we'll see. I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens. So that'll be my look here at Pixel Piracy, ladies and gentlemen. Feel free to check it out yourself if you really want to jump in and help the development of this game. It's $15. If you're one of those people who want to try and find a little bit of fun out of it or want a little bit more depth, I'd say wait. See what future updates bring. It's potentially going to be a lot of fun. We'll see actually what it ends up turning out in the long run. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next Indie Snapshot. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for more daily videos from me, and I will see all of you next time. Bye-bye.